Hello, my friends, and welcome to Yoga by the Moon. My name is Michelle, and I'm here to guide you through a first quarter moon practice for the first quarter moon for July 21st, 2026. First quarter moons, they're a very actionable phase of the moon. We start to take steps towards allowing those seeds that we planted with the new moon to grow, so we move forward. This particular first quarter moon happens in the sign of Libra, and Libra is the sign of balance. It's an air sign, and it's represented by the scales. And so everything about Libra is about bringing things into balance. So what this sign asks of us is, how can we bring balance into our lives so that we can move forward? And very specifically, we're closing out Cancer season, and the new moon was in Cancer. So the seeds of intention that we planted were involving Cancer energy, which is about nurturing and caring. So very specifically, we're being asked to look at the caring element in our lives and how we can bring balance there by extending that caring outward, but also balancing it by giving it inward to ourselves. So this is a very harmonious season. It's a season for harmonious caring, right? So to begin our practice today, we're actually going to lay down on our mats for our breathing today. So if you'll join me in laying down, I'm going to make my way there. All right, take a nice Shavasana. Bring those shoulder blades back and down together underneath you. Have one leg outstretched followed by the other. Rest your arms wherever you feel comfortable. Our breathwork practice today is known as star balance breathing. And this particular breathwork is more a meditative experience for breathing. Your breathing can be normal breath pattern, in and out the nose, in and out the mouth, whatever feels comfortable to you, in the nose, out the mouth, however you feel a normal, natural rhythm of breathing. But what we're going to do is, on the in-breath, we're going to imagine a set of scales like for Libra. And on the in-breath, one side of those scales is going to get heavier while the other one gets lighter. Then on the out-breath, the weight of those scales is going to shift. So whatever side was heavier is going to get lighter, and the side that was lighter is going to get heavier. And we're going to repeat that back and forth a total of 5 times. And then as we let go of that visualization and we just continue our normal breathing pattern, we're just going to imagine those scales back at balance before we begin our moving. So take a deep breath in. Imagine that one side of the scale is getting heavier. Nice long breath out, imagining the weight shifting to the other side. Again, in and out. In, the one side gets heavier. Out, the weight shifts. In, the weight shifts back again. And out, the weight moves again. Last one in, shifting the weight to one side. Last one out, shifting the weight to the other. Now continue breathing normal. And as we let go of that visualization, just imagine those scales coming back to balance. That breath work is very good for aligning our hearts and our minds, giving us focused energy and creating balance within. We're going to take a lot of plays with that word balance today, and also take a lot of that element of tender loving care for Cancer as we move our practice today. And our first movement is going to be all about tender loving care. So you're going to bring the soles of your feet together while you lay down, creating a diamond shape with your legs. If you wish, you may take your hands and gently press down onto your thighs to open them a little bit more. This is reclined butterfly pose, a gentle hip opener, We store a lot of our emotions in our hips, and releasing through that really allows us to have that tender loving care extended to us. It creates space for us to find that center, that balance. Breathe in deep. Then on an exhale, we're going to release the left foot back down to the bottom of the mat, and we're going to raise our right leg to the sky. And now you can clasp your hands either behind your thigh or behind your shin, or maybe you even wish to grab your foot. But wherever you are, we're just going to gently stretch through the back of that hamstring in the right leg, stretching the back of that leg. You might want a soft bend in the knee just so you don't lock out the joint there. And don't pull too far. A lot of us have very tight hamstrings. I know I do. And if you pull in too deeply, you might pull a muscle, and you don't want to do that. But like I said, we're all about extending tender loving care and being nurturing to ourselves to find the balance so that we can move forward with clarity and alignment. But we can't do that if we're not caring to ourselves. So let's extend that here. One more breath in, stretching this hamstring. And then on an exhale, take your left hand and grab the outside of your right leg as you pull that right leg across the body, opening up, keeping your right shoulder blade down, just stretching across, twisting. Gentle release here. Breathe deep. One more inhale. And on an exhale, bring the right heel down by the left. Breathe in deep. Make sure those shoulder blades are down and back. Then on an exhale, we're going to lift that left foot to the ceiling. And you can clasp your hands again behind the thigh, behind the shin, maybe even grabbing that foot if it feels good, wherever feels right to you to stretch the back of that left hamstring now. Remembering to keep that soft bend in the knees so you don't lock out the joint. Giving yourself some tender loving care and release here. Deep breaths. We're just beginning our movement practice today, so this does not need to be anywhere remotely the deepest stretch of your life. Just something to give yourself some loving care. One more deep breath in. And then on exhale, take your right hand to grab the outer left part of your left leg to pull that left leg across to the right side of the room now. To do a gentle recline twist. Make sure to keep that left shoulder blade pressed down onto the mat. Maybe you want to open your arm out to the side to help keep that down as you twist. You'll feel a nice stretch in the outer glute part of your left leg, excuse me. Me and my yogi directions. Breathe deep. At least you know this is a human and not AI, right? One more deep breath in. On an exhale, come back to center. And this time, we're going to hug both of our knees into our chest. Maybe you want to take a moment and rock side to side if that feels good to kind of massage that lower back. Maybe you just want to find some stillness, giving yourself a nice hug in this moment of tender, loving care, extending that final energy of Cancer here so that we can create balance as we move forward with Libra. Take one more deep breath in, and then on an exhale, grab the back of your thighs or the front of your shins, whatever feels right, and we're going to rock and roll up to seated as many times as you need to massage through that back, and then we're going to come all the way onto hands and knees. Knees under hips, hands under shoulders, nice flat back and neutral neck. Take a deep breath in as you bring your belly to the floor. Exhale as you round your spine. Take a couple of rounds of cat and cow here in your own breath, your own time. One more breath in. One more breath out. Then make your way to just a comfortable seat for just a moment. You can cross your legs, you can put one foot in front of the other, you can even keep your legs out in front of you, whatever feels right. Just make sure your shoulder blades are pulled back and down, your chest is nice and lifted. Then take an inhale here, just sitting. Then on an exhale, we're going to bring our right ear to our right shoulder to stretch through the left side of our neck. We store a lot of tension in our necks too, so if we release through that right now, we can really help our spine find alignment. And when we find alignment, we find balance, we find ease, and we find the way forward. One more breath in here. On an exhale, lift your head back to center. Inhale. Exhale, left ear comes towards your left shoulder as you stretch through the other side of your neck now. Nice deep breaths. Soft release. One more breath in. And then exhale, lift your head back to center. Now take your hands, bring your palms onto your knees. And then as we inhale, we're going to pull our chest forward, kind of arching our spine. And then as we exhale, we're going to round back and kind of catch ourselves with our hands here as we straighten our arms. So inhale, seated cat and cow now. Exhale, rounding that spine. Inhale, pull your heart forward. Exhale, round through that spine. As we do this seated, we really can feel how we're creating that image of the first quarter moon with our spine. Creating that half light, half dark, which really calls in that harmonious energy of Libra. Shining our light and balancing it with our dark. One more wherever you are. And then inhale, come back to center. And make your way back to hands and knees once again. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips, nice flat back. This time on an inhale, we're going to raise our left arm up parallel to our spine. Now maybe you want to stay here, or maybe you want to raise your right leg off the mat parallel to your spine as well. Inhale, exhale, bring your hand and knee back to the mat. Inhale, right arm forward parallel to the spine. Maybe you just want to stay here, or maybe you want to raise your left leg parallel to your spine as well. Inhale, exhale, hand and knee back to mat. Let's do bird dog 3 more times on each side. Inhale, left arm, right leg. Exhale, down. Inhale, right arm, left leg. Exhale, down. Inhale, left arm, right leg. Exhale, down. Inhale, right arm, left leg. Exhale, down. Last one, left arm, right leg. Exhale, down. Last one, right arm, left leg. Exhale, down. If you want to reset with a rounded cat and cow, you're welcome to. Maybe you just want to find a moment of stillness. Now inhale, lift your left arm parallel to your spine once again. Exhale, this time as you keep your knee bent at that 90-degree angle, pushing that right foot towards the ceiling. Reach your left arm behind to grab that left foot, and then kick your left hand up towards the ceiling here in tiger pose. A nice spinal balance here. Finding our center. One more breath in. And then on an exhale, as many steps as you need to get there, bring that right foot between your hands, sinking into that right hip. Rise on up into a low lunge. Arms up high, chest open, looking forward. moving forward with that energy of the first quarter moon, opening our hearts with the tender loving care of Cancer. One more breath in. On an exhale, bring your hands down to the mat as you lift your hips up over that left knee, straightening through the right leg in half splits. Bringing balance with Libra now as we give ourselves that tender loving care that Cancer is asking of us. Finding balance and extending balance to ourselves here with this particular first quarter moon. One more breath in. On an exhale, make sure your hands are planted and bring your right knee to meet your left. Maybe you wish to reset with a round of cat and cow. Maybe you choose to stay in stillness like me. Wherever you are on your next inhale, your right arm is going to come parallel to your spine as you kick that left foot towards the ceiling. Then reach your right arm around to grab that left foot and then kick your right hand up towards the ceiling here in tiger pose. Find that balance, find your center, find your strength. Using that energy of Libra, creating the shape of the moon. One more breath in here. On an exhale, as many steps as you need to get there, bring that left foot between your hands and sink into that hip. Raising your arms up high in low lunge. Take a moment of strength here, a moment of balance. One more breath in. On an exhale, lift those hips up over that right knee, straightening through that left leg in half splits. With every exhale, find a moment of release, a moment of pause, a moment of self-care. One more breath in. On an exhale, plant those hands and bring that left knee to meet the right. Gently walk your hands one step further as you curl your toes, and then on an exhale, lift those hips up towards the sky in downward facing dog. Take a moment and pedal those heels, stretching out the back of those legs here in this downward facing dog. Extending some tender loving care before we find a little bit of balance with some movement. On your next exhale, find stillness. Inhale, and then on an exhale, lift that right leg to the sky. And then bring that right foot as many steps as you need to get there between your hands. Staying up off of that heel. Rising on up high, arms up high. High lunge. Have a nice bend in that front knee. Finding our center here, finding our strength, finding our balance. Take one deep breath in, and then on an exhale, really shift your weight into that right foot, and then rise on up as you keep that left knee bent. Finding our balance here in one-legged mountain. Now you can bring your right hand to your left knee, opening your left arm behind you, maybe even turning to look at that left side wall here in twisted one-legged mountain. Whoop. If you fall, your yoga mat will catch you, no worries. We're just practicing balance here. Now as you're ready, take that left ankle and cross it across the right knee and sink into those hips in standing pigeon. Stretching through those outer glutes, finding our balance a little bit more. One more breath in. On an exhale, bring that left foot down to meet the right. Hands down, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Plant those hands, step your right foot back, followed by the left. High plank. Shift your weight forward as you bend through your elbows, chaturanga. Press on up to upward facing dog and hips high. Downward facing dog. You can pedal those heels if you wish. Take a moment in stillness. Just reset. Then on your next inhale, lift that left leg to the sky. Exhale as many steps as you need to get there. Left foot comes between the hands. Rise on up. High lunge, arms high. Finding our strength, finding our center. Looking forward, moving forward. Tending to those seeds of caring intention we planted with the Cancer new moon. Take one more breath in. Shift your weight into that left foot as you rise on up. Bend, lifting that right knee up parallel to the ceiling in one-legged mountain. Now you can bring that left hand to that right knee, bringing your right hand behind, maybe shifting your gaze to that right wall in twisted one-legged mountain. Challenging your balance a little bit more here. One more breath in. On an exhale, we're going to cross that right ankle over that left thigh and bend into that right knee, sitting our hips back in standing pigeon. Breathing deep, finding your balance. If you fall, your yoga mat will catch you. It is fine. We are all human. One more breath in. On an exhale, right foot comes down to meet the left. Hands down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. This time plant your hands, step your right foot back, followed by the left. And instead of taking chaturanga to upward facing dog, we're gonna just lower all the way down to the floor, to the mat. We're gonna take a cobra moving flow with our breath. So on an inhale, we're gonna lift up to cobra, and exhale, we're gonna come back down. We're going to do that 5 times. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down. Inhale, last cobra. Exhale, come down to crocodile. This time you can plant one palm down with the other on top of it and rest your forehead on your hands. As I explain our next posture to you, take a moment for yourself. Maybe you want to wiggle those hips back and forth, kind of giving yourself a little bit more TLC with that energy of Cancer. And our next posture is going to be bow pose. So we are going to lift our feet towards the ceiling as we did in tiger pose and reach our left hand back to grab our left foot and our right hand to grab our right foot as we kick those hands simultaneously towards the ceiling, creating a taut bow and arrow. So take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Now on an inhale, we're going to bend our feet back towards our glutes. Grab the outer edges of your feet with your hands. And then as you're ready, kick those hands towards the ceiling as you lift those thighs off the mat. Holding here just for a couple of breaths. Balance, strength. Inhale deeply. Exhale, lower back to the mat. Resting those palms on top of each other again with your forehead on top of your hands. Wiggling those hips again. Finding that TLC now, creating balance between that strength and care. Now do as I like to call a yogi pancake and flip over onto our backs. This time we're going to actually come up to a semi-seated position though. Feet planted in front of you, creating a triangle with your knees. Your feet can be far out or close to you, whatever feels comfortable, wherever you need that space. Just make sure you're pulling your chest through, shoulders back and down. And now maybe you wish to stay here, or maybe you wish to bring your left shin parallel to the ceiling, followed by the right, arms out forward here in boat pose. Wherever you are for your version of boat, maybe you wish to even straighten your legs forward wherever you are. We're going to inhale, arms forward. Exhale, opening your left arm towards the back as you look towards the left. Inhale, forward. Exhale, right arm back as you look towards the right. Inhale, forward, 2 times each way, left. Left arm open. Exhale, close. Inhale, right arm open. Exhale, closed. Inhale, left arm open. Exhale, close. Inhale, right arm open, last one. Exhale, close. One more breath here, holding boat. And then exhale, bring your legs down. Take a moment. Stretch your right foot out wide, followed by the left foot out wide, creating a nice wide V with your legs. And then gently crawl those hands forward in a nice wide-legged forward fold. Stretching through your lower back, your inner thighs, winding down our practice, giving ourselves time for tender, loving care. With every exhale, find something you can release and let go of. One more deep breath in. On an exhale, come back to center. Left leg straight out in front of you. As you're ready, we're going to bend that right foot, planting the sole of that right foot closer to our glutes with our knee close to our chest. Pulling that chest up and down. And then we're going to take a different variant of this half Lord of the Fishes pose. And instead of twisting, we're going to reach our right arm in front of our right leg and wrap it around our right leg. And then take your left hands to clasp that left hand behind you as we sort of bow forward in this variant of half Lord of the Fishes. Stretching through our hips, finding a moment of surrender and a different way of creating balance. One more breath in here. On an exhale, release your hands, unwind, and bring that right heel to meet the left. Maybe you want to shake out those legs. Inhale deeply. On an exhale, bring that left sole of the foot planted towards your glute, bringing that knee nice and close towards your chest. Reach your left arm in front of that left knee, wrapping it around and behind, and then grab your left hand with your right as you bow forward over that right leg now, in this variant of half Lord of the Fishes. Breathing deep, finding release, letting go. One more breath in. On an exhale, let go of your hands, unwind, and you can either bring your left foot back to meet the right and wiggle your legs out again. Maybe you wish to keep your legs here. Maybe you wish to find a comfortable cross-legged seat. Maybe you wish to bring the soles of your feet together in butterfly. But find your version of a seated meditation posture as I guide us through the meditation for this first quarter moon practice. Take a moment. Settle yourself into your comfortable seat. You can allow your hands to rest gently at your lap. Maybe you wish to press them together in prayer at your heart's center. Maybe you wish to just keep them by your sides. If it feels safe or comfortable to do so, you can close your eyes or have a soft gaze. Take a long, slow breath in through the nose and exhale gently through the nose. Again, inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. One more time, inhale and exhale. Let yourself fully arrive. Libra is the still point between opposites, the sacred mirror, the artist of connection and grace. As you breathe, bring awareness to your center. Imagine a fine thread of light running down the midline of your body, from the crown of your heart to its root. This is your access, your inner equilibrium. Libra teaches us that harmony is not a static state. It is a dance, a movement between giving and receiving, self and other, doing and being. What in your life feels out of balance right now? Where are you being called to restore symmetry, fairness, or peace? Now picture yourself in a quiet garden at dusk. There is soft golden light surrounding you. The sun is setting in the distance. A gentle breeze is blowing in your hair. You walk softly between two reflecting pools, one to your left and one to your right. Each pool holds an aspect of yourself, light and shadow, strength and softness, truth and tenderness. There is no need to choose. Libra invites you to hold both, to find beauty in the contrast. Let this garden become a temple of your own inner space, a place where all parts of you are welcomed and loved. You belong to yourself, and through that you meet others more clearly. Bring your attention to your heart space. Feel the breath pass through it like a breeze through silk. Repeat softly to yourself or in your heart, I am harmony. I am in harmony with myself and others. I honor beauty, balance, and truth. I create space for peace and connection. Let these words ripple through your body like music, elegant, honest, serene. Take one more deep, soft breath in and exhale with ease. And when you're ready, return to your body, carrying the poise and grace of Libra. You are a bridge. You are balance. You are the artist of your own peace. Take one more loving breath in for yourself, and with an exhale, extend that love outward so we can create that balance that we were asking about earlier. And as you're ready, if your eyes were closed, you're at the soft gaze, gently flutter your eyelids open and arrive back in this space here with me and this community. From the bottom of my heart, I wish to thank you for joining me in this first quarter moon practice, and I can't wait to take the next full moon practice with you. And in the meantime, from my heart to yours, namaste.